Hello and welcome into another edition of State of the Sun Devils alongside Jesse Morrison and Damon Allred. I'm Jeremy Schnell. I'm here live in Atlanta outside Truist Park. You can see on our YouTube channel. But we're doing an emergency podcast because Kenny Dillingham has reportedly gotten an extension just the night before the beach fell out of nowhere.
Not reportedly, confirmed.
Confirmed by Doug Tamaro. This is
Yeah.
a reported 5-year deal with the options that can get up to 10 years. Damon, I'll just start with you. Obviously, this is much deserved after what we've seen in his first 2 seasons in Tempe.
Yeah, I'll tell you, real cut and dry, this was never not going to happen. Like, I know there were people panicking at times this season about, oh, once he gets a big check from one of these blue bloods, he might be off to somewhere else, some greener pastures. I'm telling everyone, this is his greener pasture. Like, when he tells everyone that he wants to be here and build this into something amazing, that is 100% what he means, and he's going to show that with his actions. I mean, like, I promise you, he didn't need to sign this contract for people to know, or for people to be able to know that he was going to be around for a long time, because he's got it. He's figuring this valley out, and it's amazing.
This is incredible. I mean, it had to be done after the season that he's had. I mean, the absolute biggest no-brainer of all no-brainers was this move. They're in the college football playoff, and the giant has been finally awoken here, and so you've got to keep that giant awaker, Kenny Dillingham, in Tempe for as long as you possibly can. And yeah, maybe in 10 years down the road, he takes another job somewhere else. But for now, I think he is set in stone at Arizona State.
Yeah, and just Damon, the timing of this, the day before the Peach Bowl, the biggest game, arguably in ASU football history. What do you think of the timing of this move?
I mean, it's only fitting. Like, as he talked about toward the end of the regular season, the assistants were going to get theirs, the players were going to get theirs, and then we could talk about his. And it's funny to see, we saw the 3-year extensions for Arroyo and Ward. I think the three of us would be shocked to see maybe one, certainly, maybe two, certainly one of those two get a head coaching job before those 3 years are up, I would imagine. But like, and then for the players to get so much since then too, I mean, it has been amazing to see all the NIL support that has come out over the last couple months as this run has become what it is. And finally now it's Kenny Dillingham getting what he's deserved. And he talked about it in one of his post-game press conferences this season about eventually you get what you deserve. And he's been totally right about that.
I take here. This contract extension means they've got to go out tomorrow in the Peach Bowl. They got to win it.
That's a good point. Rally the players around it.
I would think that is something that they can rally around, but
Just think about it. Hold on, Jeremy. Hold on. Think about it. Now these players that are coming back next year, they have no doubt in their mind that Kenny is also coming back. And so why not play as hard as you ever have, for this coach that you love and you're coming back to play for, when even now you could probably still get more NIL money at some other schools.
Yeah, just looking back at the first 2 seasons that we've seen from Kenny Dillingham, obviously it didn't go the way that they wanted it to go last year, but there was some growth there. You saw the program turning a corner, and then this year obviously has just been spectacular at this point. Salt and gravy, as you said before, David. Just moving forward with what ASU can do, hopefully in this college football playoff. What Kenny Dillingham has done in these first 2 seasons, it hasn't been done very many other places, Jesse. And what this means for the program moving forward, I feel like it's sky's the limit.
Yeah, I mean, sky's the limit. As we've said, again, I talked about the whole sleeping giant thing. I mean, this is such a great place to play, to live, especially during the months of like October, November when you're playing college football. And, in those other towns, you get the cold weather or just unpredictable weather conditions. You've got pretty predictable weather conditions here in Tempe, and I think that for players, that's huge, and I think that having that coach stability is massive.
Yeah, and Damon, just the future of this program. What does this mean? Obviously, we get at least 5 more years of Kenny Dillingham in Tempe, but just the trajectory of where it's going and what we've seen in the first 2 years. I mean, 3 wins to now going for 12, 13, however many wins that they might get this season. Where does it go from here?
I think it could really be exponential, just in the sense that we remember when Kenny came into the studio a couple weeks ago and was talking about the transfer portal interest has just been night and day, and talking about, when we call recruits, the answer is, I'm so excited that you called. We're going to see that with high school recruits as well. And, we saw Jake Fetty. He was a top 200, I think, overall recruit, and he committed. And I think he's going to be the first of many where it's just blue chip after blue chip recruits. And it's not only the higher rankings, but it's the guys that Kenny has talked about as, we want to recruit competitive people. And so when you couple that with getting higher talent, I mean, you just can't even imagine what it's going to be like, especially when you have things to anchor that on, like having Sam Levitt as your quarterback for the next year or two as well.
Yeah, I think that this is huge for the quarterback position because Kenny Dillingham has been a great developer of quarterback talent, as Dan Wetzel talked about on our podcast yesterday. He's developed guys like Jordan Travis, Bo Nix, now Sam Levitt, who I don't expect to be back after next year. I expect him after next year to go to the NFL. I mean, 2 years of starting experience under his belt, like it's going to be time for him to probably go to the league. And so somebody else, all these new guys coming in there, they're going to see that, oh, you've sent Sam Levitt to the NFL, you've sent Jordan Travis to the NFL, you've sent Bo Nix to the NFL, who's competing with Jaden Daniels right now for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year.
No, Brock Bowers too. Let's not, Brock Bowers.
Yeah, okay, Brock Bowers. But you look at what he's done with quarterbacks, and this is going to mean that just quarterbacks want to be here. And so I'm guessing there's going to be a plethora of quarterbacks. You might see some hit the portal because they just at least want to come here and get some coaching for a little bit.
Yeah, and the energy that he brings. I think he's fun to play for. Guys want to compete for him. It goes back to what you were saying, that the guys are going to want to come out strong tomorrow to play for a guy that they know is going to be behind them for at least the next 5 years. The energy that Kenny Dillingham has shown, not only, about
plays video games with the guys.
Yeah, he really loves this program.
And whoops their butt.
He wants. You could tell. I read the article that was written about him earlier this week on ESPN.com, and they were talking about how when Kenny Dillingham gets into his post-game press conferences, you can't tell the difference of the look on his face and the sweat dripping down his face and his voice from the players coming up to the podium, because he looks like himself, like he just played 60 minutes of football. So he's one of those guys that he's just energetic, and he's literally the perfect guy for this program to move forward and hopefully continue the upward trajectory as we talked about before. That's going to do it for this edition of State of the Sun Devils. Thank you so much for listening and watching. You can find us on all forms of social media at AZ Sports Devils is where you can find us. You can listen to and watch our pregame show tomorrow before the game. That's going to be on the YouTube channel, the Arizona Sports app, ArizonaSports.com, and 98.7. That starts at 8 a.m. Arizona time. You will not want to miss that one for the Peach Bowl. Arizona State is playing in the Peach Bowl tomorrow, looking to move on to the college football playoff semifinal. For Jesse Morrison, Damon Allred, I'm Jeremy Schnell. Nice helmet you got there, Jesse.
Yeah, I got a new prop. I wanted to show people the new prop. It's cool.
I was on a roll, though. I didn't want to talk to you tomorrow morning. It's really windy out here at Truist Park, guys.